Hello, this is Bill Webb, aka Billy Indiana, and today I'm going to do my crowdfunding update. So in these updates, I talk about what I was following in the previous month, in this case September 2021, what I backed in that month, what I'm still following as we transition into October, and then what I'm anticipating different crowdfunding games that are coming out later in October. And so we'll go through that whole gamut kind of in that order. So if you're interested to see what I've been following and what I'm looking forward to in the crowdfunding area for board gaming, stay tuned. So first off, the games that I backed, and this is Flamecraft. It was an incredible success by Cardboard Alchemy. It's got really cute art. Nearly 30,000 people backed it, making over $2 million. And yet, to be honest, I really wasn't that interested in this game, but people were really in love with it. It does look cute, but cute games aren't usually what draw me in. I am impressed that Lucky Duck is involved because I have enjoyed quite a few of their games. And so many people really love this game. A lot of people just saying how much they enjoyed it. But I ended up not actually backing it for myself. I had a contest on my channel, and the award that was supposed to be given kind of fell through. And I asked if they would be interested in this one since it was such a popular game at the time, and they were. So I ended up just backing this for that person. So Flamecraft looks incredible. Like I said, the appeal for me isn't quite there, but I do hope to play it someday. You know, it's not something that I'm turned off by entirely, but I wouldn't say that. And I'm very grateful that they had such a successful campaign. I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of people really loving this game, and I hope that the person that I purchased it for will really love it. And I do hope to play it someday. The next one that I backed is actually a late back or a late pledge, and that is Deck of Wonders. So I forget exactly what the time frame of this game was when it came out, but Deck of Wonders is a game that gives you kind of a feel of Magic the Gathering, but with a solo opportunity. And so it's kind of a co-op solo game that has that sort of Magic the Gathering feel. And so I was interested in this, and the folks from Better Half Reviews, Bryce and Allison, were talking about this game, and they had a video interview with the game creator and also with the artist. And I really like the art, and I'd never played Magic the Gathering, and I've been curious, and I thought, well, this would be kind of an interesting way to step in without feeling like I have to invest, you know, all my retirement to get all the way into Magic. This gives me a chance to, you know, kind of check out this game of this style of play. The cards are multi-purpose in the sense that they're two-sided, so you play one side when it's your turn, and you play one side when it's the AI's turn. So interesting game that I late pledged, and it looks like still you can late pledge if you're interested. So I'll put the link down below, and you can see $35 for the standard version of the game, $55 if you want the Deck of Wonders Signature Edition. All right. Now, a couple games that canceled. Colab is one by Portal Dragon Games, and it looked really interesting. I was looking forward to following it, but it did get canceled, and hopefully they'll come back in the future. So that's one that I was hoping to know more about. And then another one that just started and then was canceled pretty quickly, City of the Great Machine. I was hearing really interesting things from a number of different people. Kind of a unique game where the Great Machine is trying to control the world, and the rebels are the ones that are hidden. So it's a hidden movement game, but it's not the single person that's hidden. It's the others that are hidden, and the Great Machine's trying to catch them. The art looks really cool. I'm not typically into the whole steampunk genre, but I still really like this art, and I like the theme. I think it sounds pretty interesting, and I like the idea of a different twist for a kind of one versus many and hidden movement game. So yeah. So I was a little sad that it got canceled, but I do read that it's hopefully going to come back October 29th. So both got canceled, something I was looking forward to, and now am still looking forward to. All right, so next up, some games that are over but that I was interested in but did not back, and that is, first off, Dungeons of Infinity. I've been really excited about Isofarian Guard, and that's a game that I backed and looking forward to receiving eventually. And the quality of this reminds me of what I see from the Isofarian Guard project. And the dungeon crawl game, you know, I don't typically get into that one as much, but it seemed interesting. The quality of the game seemed really nice. Has solo play, so I was interested in it, but You know, some other things in September came along as well, such as needing new tires for the car, needing brakes, you know, those adulting kind of things. So games had to go a little bit to the back seat, so I did not back this one as beautiful as it looks. The Spill was another one that, man, I was so close to backing this one, and I might end up late pledging it. You can see here you can click to late pledge, and I'll have links to all of these in the description below. But the Spill is about the an oil rig that's leaking, and you are playing in one of different roles, very pandemic-like in that regard, that you are trying to stop the oil spill. You're trying to save the animals, and if the oil spreads too much or too many animals die or get hurt by the oil, you lose. But if you can clean up enough of the oil and you can save enough animals, you win. And this dice tower is actually, you roll the dice down and they come out as the oil's spilling. And so there's some randomness to where the oil is going to spill and how it's going to spill out. Looks really interesting. It wasn't even a particularly expensive game. But again, with the other things that came up this month, financially, it just didn't make sense to try to buy as many games as I was really wanting to. So definitely thinking I might late pledge this one eventually. Looks really cool. Theme I really enjoy. And yeah, so I definitely want to play this in the future and may end up late backing it, but I didn't back it at the time. Next up, Mythic Mischief by Ivy Studio. And this is one where the theme just never drew me in. I kept watching videos, kept hoping that something was going to really click because everybody else seems in love with it. And it's just, different strokes for different folks. We all have our own preferences and biases to what we will like. And who knows, if I actually played this game, I might love it. It might become one of my best games of all time. But all these people really seem to be loving it. But I don't know, the theme just didn't draw me in. And again, financially just didn't want to put that much money towards a game that I wasn't sure about. The gameplay seemed abstract enough too that I wasn't really sure, as cool as some of the figures look and the art looks. Yeah, I don't know. I decided not to back it, but I would really want to play this at some point. I want to see what all the hype's about. I just wasn't willing to put that money into a game like this, but definitely one that I followed. 11 was one that I was a little more tempted to back because I am a big sports fan. Not particularly a soccer or football fan, but I loved Madden back in the day when I used to play that a lot, and I loved the management aspect of it, playing it as an online video game. And so this piqued my interest. If I were a soccer fan or if this was about another sport, I probably would have been more tempted. But in the end, I decided not to go for it. The base game was a little expensive, it felt like, for me, for what you're getting. And then the all-in pledge was a much better deal because there's a lot of expansions. But yeah, I just wasn't really sure. And again, financially didn't make sense this month to go for it, but looks cool. Might be one in the future that I would, try to find used or on retail market. Definitely would love to play it at some point, but ended up not choosing to back it. Next up, Agemonia. Agemonia is one of several games that came out that were kind of heavy adventure games. There was Iridia, Agemonia, and several games like that where, you're going into this fantasy world and, beautiful art, 1 to 4 players, a cooperative game. Definitely interesting to me. But for 99 euros for the core box, I was, again, I'm not going to put that much money into a game right now. And I have splurged that much and more before, but right now that just doesn't make sense for our budget. Definitely, again, another one that I would love to try at some point. I like cooperative games. I like fantasy theme. The art for this one didn't quite appeal to me as much as some of the other ones, but definitely followed this one and would definitely eventually love to play this one, but didn't back it this month. And next up, EOS Island of Angels. I like Gray Fox games, the ones I've played. Now, I haven't played a ton, but I really love After the Empire, and I really enjoy Champions of Midgard. So, and this art does inspire me a little bit more. The theme, not so much. You're traveling to this island to free a bunch of angels. So, I don't know, the theme didn't really draw me in, but the idea of being able to play this game with the beautiful art, and you can have solo mode. So that was a tempting thought too. Although I keep saying that, but then I find myself not really playing solo very often. So I think I'm more of a want to be a solo gamer, but I think the social aspect of gaming does draw me in more, and I end up not playing solo nearly as much as I think I will. So that also was one where I was like, well, yeah, I could play it solo if it doesn't appeal to anybody else, but then will I? But yeah, the art for this one really does draw me in. But in the end, I decided, yeah, I'm not drawn in enough by the theme, and needing to be really picky and choosy, I ended up not backing it. But the quality of the components looks incredible. The art is really appealing to me. Theme not so much, but you know, maybe the theme would come through better than I think, or maybe the theme really wouldn't matter too much. So this is one that also ended that I didn't back, but one that I was definitely interested in. Another one, like I said, I would love to play all of these games. If I was interested enough to follow it and really dig into seeing what it was all about and watching the videos and watching gameplays, you know, I definitely want to play it in the future and maybe even own it in the future, but didn't back it this month. All right, now we get into the ones that are still active. So Solar Sphere, harness the power of the stars. So in this game, you are basically trying to create a solar sphere for people to live in, but there's a resistance of people trying to stop you from doing that. And this is a dice placement game, and I really like dice worker placement. So this one appeals to me on that regard. It also looks a bit like Terraforming Mars. We got this circular part of the board replacing out tiles, but then throwing in dice. So definitely watching this one. I enjoyed watching, they used to be Ant Lab, then Geek Mavericks. I think it's How It Plays is what their channel is now, where they cover things like this. And really enjoyed hearing Anthony and Francis, watching them play it through, seeing how it plays. The theme for this one's okay. I'm okay with space theme. Not maybe at the top. Fantasy's like my go-to. Lord of the Rings at the top of that fantasy list. But yeah, but this one looks pretty interesting, and I love dice worker placement, so definitely following this one. If we look at the pledge options over here, there's the 33 pounds, about $45 for the base game with the Kickstarter pack. You can go to the drone level for about $67 and get the expansions box. You can go to the fleet level for about $86 and get the play mat. And then you can go to 99 pounds, $135 for the solar, and you can pick up additional play mats. And so there's quite a few options to choose from. And if I do go for this one, I would probably end up getting this level, the drone pledge. Honestly, it's probably, looking at all the things I'm excited about coming up in October, falling a little bit down on that list of priorities, but definitely one that I'm interested in, definitely be following. However, not a lot of time, as you hopefully saw here. There's just 5 days to go. So yeah, this game is one that if you're interested in, check it out quickly. Drawn to Games, Solar Sphere, ending in 5 days. All right, Artisans of Splendent Vale. This game is one that has some really intriguing art. At first glance, I thought it looks a little bit too pastel, but then when I start looking at the details, there's just this, the cultural, like some Asian little vibes going on there, and just like this, it's a made-up culture, but just the uniqueness of that kind of started to draw me in. This one's by Renegade Game Studios. And in this one, again, we have a similar thing that we're seeing a lot of games lately. We've got these map and a book design, which I think's a nice new addition. I think Jaws of Lion was one of the few, and Dragon Road, a couple games that kind of, I think, inspired that strategy, and it follows through here. It's a nice cooperative adventure game, and yet the thing that's holding me back on this one is the base game cost, getting in at $99. So yeah, last month was a rough one financially, and then this month we got to pay for car registration. It's just all those things you got to do as an adult, you know, those unimportant things like paying your bills. So yeah, I have to be pretty picky and choosy lately. And so this one probably will fall by the wayside, but it is really intriguing. Lots of people really enjoying it. You can see the different margins here. You can, for $29, get a plushie, the brown bear, horned dog, or winged cat. And then you can get all the plushies for $79 if that's what you're interested in. For the game, $99 for the core game. And if you want the recharge pack that comes with it, you can get for $114. And then there's the retail pledges down below. And then there's the all-in for $179 if you want the plushies and the game and the recharge pack. All right, so that is Artisans of Splendent Vale. Next up, Eastern Empires, and honestly, I've actually followed this more just out of the novelty of this game. A 3 to 9 player Civilization board game, recommended 5 to 9. It's so seldom that I would have 5 players, and definitely not 9. But it's just a novel game by 999 Games. It's a civ building game, and honestly, when you look at the components, it looks kind of old school. I mean, it looks like a game that would have come out a while ago. Mostly cards and little cardboard tokens. But I do love map board games. That just, something about maps also draws me in. I'm not sure what that is about my personality or my preferences, but and they have different kinds of scenarios for different player counts. And the thing that makes it even more novel, though, is this Eastern Empires can be combined with Western Empires. So if you really want a mega game, you know, you can play this with up to 18 people. Again, how would I ever get 18 people together to play a game, and how long would that game last? So this is the whole thing. I love the way the boxes go together, and I love the idea of it. It's just a novel mega empire game you could try. But yeah, I don't think I'll be backing this one, but it was interesting. You can get these special buildings if you are interested. So I'll show you the pledges if it's more interesting to you, if you're more legitimately considering it. You can get Eastern Empires for about $140. You can get the all-in Mega Empires if you want both for $209. And then you can get these as add-ons if you want the expansion special buildings things here. So check that out if you're interested. It was more of a novelty for me. I think it would be one that I would love to have and play, but would I ever play it? And for $200, definitely not going to go in for that all for me personally. But some people out there, that may be right in their wheelhouse. Next up, Pirate Party Women of the High Seas. And I actually have a prototype version here that I've been playing with my wife. We've been enjoying it. Going to be putting up a video hopefully tomorrow about how this game plays. It's on Kickstarter, as you can see right now, with 9 days to go. And this is a rummy style game, but with a pirate theme. And even more intriguingly, all of the pirates are actual women pirates from history. And you can see the diversity in their cultures as well, coming from all over the world. So really interesting to kind of read about those women pirates. And then in the game, you have all of these different styles of cards, and you play them rummy style. So you can have like a captain and a ship and a deckhand or something to set down a set of 3. You could have 3 different birds or 3 different cannons or 3 different maps, and you can set them down, and then you can play down into your playing area based on what the other players have played. But one unique twist is several of these cards are action or adventure cards where something new happens. And when you play your pirates and some of these other cards, there's also an action that takes place when you do that. Another thing that's interesting is the Kraken card. When it comes out, the game stops. And it's like rummy games where when the game ends, you are penalized for the card still in your hand. So the game either ends when the Kraken card comes out or someone empties their hand. I really like the art. Stay tuned. I'll be putting out a more thorough review, but this is just a quick peek into it. If you're interested in backing this one, for $5, you can support the cause. For $22, you can get 1 physical copy of the game plus all stretch goals and access to the pledge manager. For $40, you can get a couple copies of it with all of those same features. And then for $50, Pirate Booty, you can get a deposit for toward 5 or more games. So if you're interested at that type of level, or the Legend if you want to go in. So there's a few more if you want to become a first mate in the game. So check this one out. If you like rummy style games, nice small box game, easy to learn, easy to play, but a lot of fun. Next up, Tiles of the Arabian Nights. This one's on Gamefound, as you can see. And Tiles of the Arabian Nights is by Holy Grail Games. I've never actually played the original Arabian Nights game. Sorry, losing track of my S's there. But this theme, I like the Arabian Night theme, and the art in this one is just gorgeous to me. This one really does appeal to me. You know, we all have our own interesting flavors and preferences. Once upon a time, a legendary queen told 1,001 tales over as many nights. Now the Sultan holds a yearly storytelling contest in her honor. This year, as a citizen of Baghdad, you're taking part in the hopes of winning the title of Master Storyteller and all of the fame and fortune that comes with it. You're gathering these tiles and collecting them in such a way that it tells a story. You're trying to tell the best story you can based on these tiles. Now, the game really doesn't seem to have a ton of components, but to me the art is gorgeous. And there's different kind of boards that keep getting added and different kinds of character standees and tokens and things that keep getting added as stretch goals. So definitely follow this out if you want to know what's going on. It's actually a pretty inexpensive pledge too, for 39 euros, which is around $45, I think. And if you get the early bird special, which goes to the first 1,000, I think there's around 600 and some now. You can also get the deluxe wooden token set for free, and you can also get the Legends of Sand expansion for free. So pretty cheap for 45 bucks over here. This is the one that I'm thinking about getting. Just not sure if there's going to be enough game here. I need to watch some videos. I haven't had a chance to do that yet. But here you can see the things that they've already unlocked. And then down here you can see what these different options are. And so, yeah, if you can get on this early bird, I think that's your best bet because you get the wooden tokens and the expansion for free. If we look down here at shipping, another thing I love about Gamefound is how the shipping and how this nice little menu over here works. So yeah, between 12 and 15 euros if you're in these regions, 15 to 18 in group 2, and so on and so forth. So I live in the US, so I'd be looking at this region. This one's intriguing, definitely looking at this one and checking it out, considering it. Let's see, how many more days on this one? We've got 11 days left for Tiles of the Arabian Nights. So check it out if you're interested in that one. Next up, Quests and Cannons, The Risen Islands, back on Kickstarter here, 13 days to go. And this game is by Short Hop Games. It didn't really intrigue me when I first saw the game or the Kickstarter page necessarily. Thematic strategy game, I'm a little burned out with pirate games. There's been so many, it seems like, in the last couple of years. So wasn't initially drawn in, but again, my friends at Better Half Reviews were playing it, talking about how much they enjoy it, talking about how much it's changed over the time of its development. The art here is kind of cute and interesting. I like the strategy, so I have watched a couple videos on this one and definitely considering it. You know, here's what Bryce said. I love how customizable this game is for whatever type of group might be playing. Want to play solo, competitive, co-op, teams, easy or hard mode? You've got it. So many options. And that is intriguing. So their interest in the game has really intrigued me. So definitely considering it. For $60, you get the Hero of Miraheim, and this has all kinds of materials that come in the game. You can see all the different tiles. Maybe I'm scrolling too fast. Coins, dice, quest cards, loot cards. I'll just scroll through it fast because I've seen it. Double-sided reference cards, designed insert, rulebook. You can get the deluxe pledge if you want the neoprene quick play mat, and metal coins as well as custom traveler's dice. And then there's some prototype options and things down here at the next level. So if you're interested, if a pirate game is appealing to you, if you want something that has so much variability, solo, co-op, competitive, you know, all those different options, check this one out. Next up, TreeTale. Now, TreeTale is one that was out last month and then got canceled and then came back out. And it's doing better this time, but still not blowing the doors off the hinges. This one is, I think, probably being held back that it best plays at 3. It's by Borderia. Really intriguing idea. You have this vision, this prophecy, and then you travel through a time machine back in time to create your character to be the way it needs to be, and then you come back to the present and gather your team, and then you go into the future and battle out the big bad. So a very interesting theme, not like anything I've heard before. And there's a bunch of storylines in here and a lot of interesting content that comes with the game. So this one's definitely intriguing. I do love the art in this one. And the storyline, just the gameplay and storyline really make it interesting to me. Developing your character, building up their attributes, going into a battle. Yeah, it's a cooperative game, and they said, you know, their theory for why they want to make it a 1 or 3 player game is they feel like cooperative games work best at 3. And I can't argue with that point, but I just so seldom have the opportunity to play at 3 that I have a hard time wanting to invest in a game that is kind of not limited to that entirely, but pretty much. So yeah, very interesting, really creative, very beautiful in my opinion. Drafting your heroes, placing your tiles, creating the map, building the character, building your tableau. These dual layer mats look really great. Card drafting, yeah, lots of interesting things. Here's that prophecy, and then you go into the past, and then back to the present, and then into the future to battle out the creature that your heroes have been building up to try to overcome. So you can try it out on digital. You can, here's their explanation of why they chose 3. Can play it solo, but again, like I said, I think I'm a solo player, but I don't actually seem to be one. So yeah, here you can get the compact box for $58. You can get the core box for $82. You can get the core box with the expansion, the Moonglow expansion, for $116, and then you can get packs of them if you're interested. So yeah, that is TreeTale by Borderia. Really beautiful looking, very interesting theme, also very intriguing gameplay, I think. So definitely following this one. It's really the player count that's holding me back from jumping in. 13 days to go, though, for me to keep thinking about it. Almost 2 more weeks. Next, Keep the Heroes Out. And this is another one where, if it wasn't for those Better Half Reviews folks, man, they just keep dragging me into games. I love those guys. But yeah, Keep the Heroes Out. If I look at this picture, I'm like, yeah, scroll by. It doesn't appeal to me. But they really were intrigued by it. They really like it. And then I heard Rado also really likes it. And I was like, okay, these people are people that I generally follow similar games. Like when they like it, I typically do as well. But you know, these characters kind of remind me of Root, and for some reason Root just doesn't appeal to me either. I know so many people love it. I probably should just get over it. But yeah, I don't like this one, just doesn't draw me in. And yet, yeah, it sounds really good when I hear about the gameplay, and when I hear what Bryce and Allison talked about, and then hear Rado, what he talked about. I do love deck building games, so you know, that is interesting. I really have enjoyed the very few tower defense type of games that I played. Yeah, so definitely interested in this one. And I wouldn't have been except for, the people that I trust and value their opinions sharing how much they enjoy it. So looking into it, following it, have a little bit of time. If this kind of cartoony art appeals to you, you might be like, wow, how can he not like this? And it's not that I don't like it, I guess. It's just not what would draw me in immediately. I tend to like the, more adventure, gritty style, darker style kinds of things. But yeah, if the gameplay is there, the art's not bad by any means. It is very cute. It wouldn't turn me off if the gameplay is great. And so definitely checking this out here, my friends, that I mentioned. This is such a fun strategy puzzle of a game with a smidge of push your luck mixed in. Everything about it looks adorable and gorgeous. Those toads are so stinking cute. So here for $50, you can get a copy, and then there's group pledge and retailer pledge there if you're interested. Missed out on the early bird pledge. That's no longer available. So if you are interested, this is, you're trying to keep the heroes out, which is exactly what it is. The heroes are trying to come in, and you're the bad guys. And so, yeah, very interesting. 16 more days to go. Very well funded. So check this one out if it interests you as well. This is the more gritty art that I like. The more, I don't know if you would call it realistic in a sense, because it's still fantasy. But this is one that I'm definitely looking into. I haven't had a chance to watch many of the reviews yet. But again, better have reviews before you play. Some people that I really enjoy following and really appreciate their opinions have given some good reviews of this. So the gameplay, you're combining strategy and area control. And watch the video. Yeah, this video up here is really interesting. It just as a nice animation to show you kind of how it would feel. You're trying to play a faction, and you have asymmetric factions, and you're trying to control this new area, basically. So great mix of strategy with a hint of probability and so much replayability. Very cheap, too. Base game, $25. And then if you go for $45, you also get the extra expansion. So definitely leaning towards this one, because for $45, getting the base game and this expansion, a card game. So, you expect it to be a little bit cheaper, but there's some dice and different tokens in here. And like I said, I love the art. So you're going to choose your faction, fight for control, play one-on-one, play solo and tabletopia if you want to try it out. So yeah, this is one that I'm definitely looking into. Colossal Games. And I need to watch a couple more videos. Like I said, I've read a few things, and so I want to watch a couple more. I'd like to watch this one. I watched a few minutes of it, but haven't had a chance to watch all the way through. So definitely want to check that out. And also, just dig into it a little bit more, but definitely leaning towards this one. That kind of art does appeal to me more. 17 days to go. But you can tell there's several that are appealing to me, and the finances aren't great this month either. So I'm going to have to be very picky still in October. Verdant. This is one that the theme of it, developing a houseplant collection, yeah, not any interest at all for me, but I love Cascadia. And so, yeah, when it's by the same people, and I've heard several people say that it's kind of like a game that mixes some things from Calico and Cascadia, again, from Flat Out Games. Definitely intriguing. And the houseplant collecting idea, I think my son and my daughter would really love, and my wife wouldn't be opposed to it either. She isn't as into it as they are, but she does love plants. The art looks beautiful. And the gameplay with the, kind of the mix of tokens and cards and trying to pair them up and the puzzly nature of it. Definitely one that I'm considering. And also another one that's not very expensive. So, all these unique cards with beautiful art. As much as I'm not into plants, that art is really beautiful. And, you've got different rooms you're trying to plant them in, all these different tokens that affect the gameplay. Yeah, I want to watch a little bit more about it. I watched some Quackalope videos where they were comparing this in Calico and Cascadia, as well as Board Game Co. with Alex and Quackalope, combining and talking about it. Definitely one that I'm interested in. Not sure if I'll back it or not. Gonna keep watching, keep listening, keep considering. Here are the pledge levels. So you can get a print and play for $5. You can get the Kickstarter edition for $29. So again, very inexpensive. You can get the double version if you want to order 2 or more. And then this first Founders edition is gone. So it does have a solo mode. So another option of family variant. That's one thing that's nice about Cascadia as well. So yeah, you can also, I think you'll have access to be able to potentially buy some of these others through the Pledge Manager. We'll see. I don't know for sure about that. I haven't read to that level of detail, but and let's check out the shipping down here if we can find that. You can see all these different videos. I've watched several of those already. Wow, it's a long way down here. There's a lot of videos. And a lot of stretch goals here. There we go, shipping. Estimates $11. They're doing some subsidies, so it'd be $11 for me, and you can see where you live, what it might be for you. So that is Verdant by Flat Out Games. Beast, this art too. Wow, this just, I've been watching this just by this cover. I was like, wow, that is impressive. That's the kind of art I really love. Now, the style of play here isn't necessarily one that always draws me in. It is one of those hidden movement games again. One person plays the beast, the other plays the hunters. But man, the art is so beautiful to me, and it just, yeah, the fantastical nature of it. I was watching the video for this. To me, the vocal part of the video is a little bit funny, but yeah, watching the play of it and how this beast is roaming around and killing animals and killing different villagers, and then the hunters are going after it, trying to catch it. So this hidden movement type of game. Curious, I haven't played very many hidden movement type of games. I have on my shelf one Mind Management that I still haven't got off to the table, but I want to get that one and play that. But this one, yeah, beautiful art, lots of content in this game. Definitely interested in it. These beasts just look incredible. Yeah. For me, this is the kind of art that draws me in, and the fantasy nature of it. There's lore information here, double-sided map, yeah, drenched lands, player mats. Yeah, so definitely following this one, and definitely interested. Some more features here that come with the game. Custom insert, quite a few stretch goals, and quite a few stretch goals being met. If we look at the options for investing in this one, check out that here. Your first pledge, core pledge, $59. Not bad. And then we got the all-in pledge for $85. And then this all-in pledge comes with all of the add-ons, including this hardcover art book and the metal grudges. So not sure. Those add-ons don't necessarily appeal to me as much, so I will probably be going in at the core pledge if I do. $59 would be my guess. Still not sure about this one, again, because I haven't played enough of that type of game to know if I would really enjoy it. Also, we tend to play 2-player, and I don't know if it would be great at 2-player, so I need to watch a few more videos. Still have a lot of time, so I haven't dug into this one as much as I need to before I would make that decision. But yeah, very beautiful in my opinion. Next up, Top Shelf Token Treasury. So this is board game adjacent, but this is, you can get all these interesting tokens. So if you play a lot of games and you like to upgrade the tokens, you can see here, they come in these nice book-like boxes. So here we've got, one of them has brick and stone and wood and gold, kind of the traditional ones there. And then all the vegetables and meats and kind of things that you would have in your harvest book. And then different kinds of elements. And then the cataclysmic compendium with hammers and bullets and bones and things like that. So $50 per box. And then I think there's some different discounts if you buy multiple boxes. Shows you some of the games you could use these in. Probably won't be backing this one. I don't tend to upgrade my games as much, but I wanted to share it because I know some people really love to do that. So yeah, if you just want to pick one, $50. If you want to pick two, $100. So maybe there isn't really, yeah, I guess there isn't really much of a discount or not any discount at all. But you can pick them $50 per box if you are interested. All right, so like to upgrade your games, there you go. Next up, these are ones that I'm anticipating that haven't started yet. So Roll Camera, Reprint, and Expansion. So I did receive Roll Camera. Another one's on my shelf of shame. I still haven't got it to the table. So, but I am looking forward to getting it to the table soon so that when this launches soon, I'll know if this is one that I want to check out. This one's by Keen Bean Games and launching on October 5th. And Roll Camera, it's a cooperative game, and you are playing to make a blockbuster hit or a terrible movie that's so bad that it becomes a hit. And it looks really interesting. I'm really excited to get it to the table. I do have an unboxing of it, but still haven't played it. All right, Mythwind, another one coming out. Mythwind's also coming out on October 5th. And this is a fantasy-like game. The art looks beautiful. And I've heard several people talking about, the play of the game. I think Alex from Board Game Co. is talking about how much he's been impressed by it. So definitely looking forward to this one. It launches on October 5th. Steam Up, a feast of dim sum. So Asian food and just Asian themed games tend to draw me in. And so this one with that Asian food dim sum idea looks really fun. Set collection idea. The components of this look really cool. And so I don't know too much about it, but Hot Banana Games, as soon as I saw this cover and I watched a video and saw some of the components, looks really great. This is definitely one I'll be keeping my eye on. And I think, let's see, this one launches October 19th, so still a couple weeks away. Next up, we've got Senjutsu, the Battle for Japan. I think this one is also launching on the 19th. We have several coming in on that day. Battle for Japan. Again, the Asian theme kind of appeals to me, 1 to 4 players. This 20 minutes is interesting. I think it's kind of an area control battle game, and you're going to be playing a samurai and dueling with these miniatures, deck crafting mechanics. Playing it in that quick of a time, just kind of, okay, I want to check that one out. So again, launching, I believe, on October 19th. Next up, Pachamama by Sit Down Games. And the art on this one looks really incredible. Coming out, I think, also on the 19th. And this one thing I like about Gamefound is when they do put up their previews, because this one isn't launched yet, you get some ideas. If you follow it here, it says you're going to get the benefit of getting, let's see, this little component here. It is free, and this will allow you to benefit from a gift if you decide to play. Okay, so if you pledge, if you follow now, you're going to get a gift with the game. All right, and here is the game. It looks like worker placement, worker movement, potentially competitive and solo deduction game. Oh yeah, I do remember in one of the videos, I think it was Alex in his preview, talking about it's a different kind of deduction game, that he was a little spent on deduction games, but this one brought it in such a way that it really drew him in a bit better. I thought it was a unique gameplay of that, using that mechanism. And so yeah, check this one out. It'll be launching here also on October 19th. So Pachamama. Next up, Too Many Bones Unbreakable by Chip Theory Games. This one is launching on October 19th as well. And this is one, it's a standalone, so you can, I think, integrate it with your Too Many Bones if you have that, or you can play it as a standalone game. I don't have Too Many Bones, haven't played it, so this will be one that I'll be wanting to check out in case this might be my jumping in point. So, I've watched several videos. The high quality components of Chip Theory Games intrigues me, and watching the gameplay of, using those chips and going into battle and trying to, I think you're called gear locks or something like that, and you're battling different monsters and such, different creatures. So definitely checking this one out when it launches and trying to decide if this is where I may want to jump in and give Too Many Bones a shot. That one's again on October 19th. Next up, Lords of Ragnarok, Awaken Realms. Incredible different features, miniatures here. This is kind of like the Too Many Bones, except this is more of a recreation, I think, in a sense, of Lords of Hellas. Again, a game I haven't played, but I've always thought Lords of Hellas is a game I'd like to try. And so this Lords of Ragnarok, I've heard that they took that game and they used basically the core of Lords of Hellas, tweaked it, improved it, and then obviously changed the theme to these Norwegian heroes, these Norwegian gods. And so definitely going to check this one out as well. Rather than buying the Lords of Hellas game as an older game, maybe this would be where I would jump in. Although, the big box miniature games, the cost of them starts to rise up so fast. That's the one thing that worries me, especially as I mentioned, just with the budget the way it is recently. So we'll see. Definitely going to check it out. Because I've wanted to play Lords of Hellas, Lords of Hellas, and yeah, these miniatures look incredible. So gonna be watching this one. This one launches on 21st. All right, next up, Hamsters versus Hippos, and actually received a prototype of this one recently as well. Played it with the grandkids, and they didn't quite get it, so it wasn't a great playthrough. So I'm looking forward to playing with my wife and maybe my daughter or some friends and seeing how that goes. But this one is launching soon as well. It comes on the 20th. And it is, you have these tiles and you're hopping around as a hamster, and if you flip over a hippo, you get knocked out, and you're trying to collect these little lotus flowers, and it's a push your luck, so you go as far as you want, and then whenever you want, you could just come back to your safety with your lotus flowers and save them, or you can keep pushing your luck, but if you turn over a hippo, you become hippo food. So Hamsters versus Hippos by 10 Robot Games, coming on October 20th. Kinghill. This one is another one that I don't know too much about, but when I see this picture, wow, that art just really draws me in. Fantasy driven game. The worker placement, engine building aspects of it sound right up my alley. And then here I'll put a link to this as well. You can see more of the art, and you can sign up if you want to read more. Competitive strategy games set in this fantasy world, 1 to 2 players, 45 to 90 minutes. So yeah, designed to combine complex Euro mechanisms with a card game. So I like worker placement games. I love engine building type of games, and man, this art just looks incredible. So yeah, check this one out, Kinghill. Kinghill is scheduled to launch on October 26th by Violet Dragon Games. And coming up here on the end, next up, Weather Machine. No firm date on this one by Eagle Griffin Games, but it's a Lacerda game. I have not played any Lacerda games, but this one sounds interesting. And if we look at the art here, I do think that the art is incredible, and Eagle Griffin Games tend to just knock it out of the park with the quality of their components. So yeah, I know that this will be a great game. I want to know more about the gameplay. I haven't played Lacerda games because I think they're very heavy, and I haven't played that heavy a game before. So I would definitely be a little hesitant to just jump right in without knowing a little bit more about it. But one I'm keeping my eye on. I want to play a Lacerda game. I've heard a lot of people say try Gallerist, so I don't own any Lacerda games, so I'd have to find someone that I could borrow or trade for. Maybe Jennifer or someone will bring one to our game group sometime, and I'll get a chance to try one. But this is one that intrigues me. Supposed to come out sometime in October. And then last up, this is not actually a board game either, but board game adjacent, and it is CoinSides, 1 coin, many sides. And this is a project that's coming soon. I think it's scheduled actually to launch on November 1st. And in CoinSides, you are actually, supporting a project for these metal coins. They're 2-inch coins, and the coins by Exist Games. And Charlie from Exist Games has been really great. He's been sending me pictures and information. I will be putting together a brief video sometime during October. It doesn't launch till November 1st, but I'll be putting a brief preview together with the images he sent. But the basic idea is on these 2 sides, you have, a typical 4-sided die, a 6-sided die, 8, 12, 20, 10. And so you can flip these coins, you spin it, and then put your finger down on it. So I'll explain more details, but this one launches, I think, November 1st, which is close enough that I thought I'd go ahead and mention it now, by Exist Games. So keep your eye out for that. So there you have it. Lots of games that I followed, a couple that I backed, a bunch that I'm still following, and several that I'm anticipating coming later this month. October scares me because there are so many that I'm interested in, so many that look really great. Beast, that art just looks incredible. And then others like Steam Up that just, I think it would be so fun to have those little dim sum packets. Just so many really incredible ones. Lost Empires, several that are drawing me in. So I'll have to really be picky and choosy with the finances, but definitely following those and be making some tough decisions. So of those or of other projects, what are you interested in? What have you backed recently? What are you looking forward to? What are you following and being tempted to back here in the month of October 2021? I'd love to read about it down in the comments below. Hopefully this video was helpful for you. Maybe you found a new project or 2 that you could follow. If it was, it'd be great if you'd click on that thumbs up down below to give it a like. And I would really appreciate it if you'd subscribe to the channel if the content that I create is something that would be a service to you. As always, thanks for watching. This is Billy Indiana, signing off.